skip to track.
It's that time again. It's the Berkey and the Badger Board Game Babble Show. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wacky. It might even get a little zany. We're going to talk about board games and the board game industry. And we might talk about anything else we want to talk about.
Hey! Welcome, Babbleites, to the wonderful Berkey and Badger Board Game Babble Show and the wonderful kingdom of Babblot. I'm your honorable king, King Berkey. You notice that I have been meepleized, yes, by Meeple Source. These are very hard to find meeples of me. Yes, of me. And I am the host of this elegant podcast, which is streamed live from YouTube, directly from Babblot. And we are now in the Game Topper studio. Woohoo! Everyone here is a board game enthusiast, right from your humble king, right down to the lowest windmill repairman. Talking of the lowest of low, here's my co-host and court jester, Sir Badger.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us in the royal court. You can probably hear lots of mumbling going on behind us, but hey-ho, that's just Berkey's belly. Welcome to episode 68. Yes, woo!
68. Wow, we just celebrated our 4th year anniversary, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, one day we'll celebrate 100th episode. We'll probably be 60 each. But
well,
you know,
I've already celebrated 100 of something. I just don't know what.
100 calories gained.
Yeah, I 100 pull-ups, and I do it like this with a spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pull-up. It's a special exercise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. We have with us a special guest, a special treat, the illustrious, the illuminous, the incredible, the incomparable Mark Stread from the Board Game Corner.
Hey, folks, how's it going? Thanks for having me, guys.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Mark is in Game Topper Studio because we're getting ready to launch Kickstarter 2.0 for Game Toppers. And Mark has been very instrumental in helping us do some of our video work. He does amazing video work, has a degree actually in photography. So we're stepping up a few things in our game regarding our product placement. And you're actually in the new studio. Yeah. You're going to see a lot of pictures coming from the studio.
It's amazing here. Oh my God. And the sign, talk about the sign.
Super fun, right? Well, Ben from Daedalus actually made a laser cutout of this, and then we individually stained every one of these pieces so that we actually have it in wood, but then we framed it in our Game Topper frame.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat and a lot of fun.
Slick. It is super slick.
Yeah, thank you. Well, this studio has been actually a dream in the making. When we decided to revamp my wood shop, we put in special cupboards that my father built, and it was all about a year and a half ago. And all of the vision for this space was about this weekend, where Mark flew in from Colorado to come and actually do video shooting so we can interact with our fan base and all that kind of stuff. So it's really kind of fun.
Yeah.
And it glows in the dark, Kabuki. You just showed me.
It glows in the dark.
Without destroying the whole of the workshop.
Yeah, Josiah worked on that. He had fun threading that LED lighting behind that bad boy. That's awesome.
Yeah, so episode 68. We're going to be babbling what's been babbling along in Babblot. Blah, blah, blah. It's lucky we're not professional because you've already done that. And then we're going to do a roundup of rumors in things that make us go, And then we are going to move on to our favorite section of all time, which is the interrogation. We're going to be interrogating our most recent prisoner, Mark Stread, who's in the workshop dungeon for some strange reason.
Yeah. We have tools in here: vices, clamps.
It's
screwdrivers.
It's pretty scary.
We have pointy things too.
Yes, sharp.
And we're going to wrap up the show as normal with our Babble section, where we're going to be babbling about media creators. Ooh.
Interesting.
What is a media creator?
Yeah.
Is that a tool? Is it what is that?
Is it someone that makes a television or builds a stage for actors to go on and present their media?
It's like a stage
All of the
guild.
above.
That's what it might be, a guild.
It might be a
There
guild.
might
No.
actually be software called Media Creator.
Oh, it is a media creator. There is a software called that. Well, tell us a little bit about what's been going on in your world of Babblot there.
Well, in my world of Babblot, I've been babbling with people from the other side of the world, believe it or not. And they've kindly asked me to join forces with them and help them create more in-depth sound for the Dungeons and Dragons universe.
Oh.
Now, you may or may not know, I'm a big fan of Syrinscape, which is an app which gives you audio background music and effects for when you play, well, primarily role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, but I use it for playing board games because they got some good ones which, you know, fit in with Star Wars universe or Arkham Horror, or my favorite is Viticulture, where it's just like birds cheeping and cows mooing. It's really nice. But anyway, yeah, so I've been approached by them. I've already done bits and pieces for them in the past, but now I am doing my first Dungeons and Dragons adventure and creating the whole 4 chapters of the Lost Mind of yeah. Now say that after a coffee or two. So yeah, that's a new music job which I am hooked into at the moment.
That sounds awesome.
It is awesome.
I don't know if you know, Barry has actually done the work for Chronicles of Crime and a lot of other games as well. And that is fantastic, Badger. I'm so happy for you. Congrats.
Super exciting. That's awesome.
Yes. I'm hopefully going to give it that kind of Lord of the Rings polish.
Yes.
So at the end of your campaign, you'll be humming the melody all the way home.
Hopefully.
After you put your pencil down and you've leveled up to level 5, and here we go.
Now make sure it has a good hook.
It has a good hook. Unfortunately, I've just watched Lord of the Rings, so I've got that in my head, so I can't.
It's like the music from The Hobbit, man. That is epic music. I mean, those dwarves singing in there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, we just sing that over and over again.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So that's what's been happening in my end of the Babblot. And what's been happening in your end? Ooh,
yeah,
you already know.
Yeah, it's all about Game Topper Central right now.
Oh dear, we've lost the sound. No sound. You've knocked your mic out. No. You might have to go into your settings and re-configure your settings. Silence is golden, golden. No. So, Kabuki, what were you doing last night? Were you watching some really cool film? Don't tell me you were watching Star Wars. Were you watching Star Wars? I bet a lot of people were watching Star Wars because yesterday was May the 4th. You might have to drop out and drop back in, my dear. So welcome to the show. It's Muller time. Sounds legit. Adobe Media Creator. Yeah, it's something. Last night I was watching Afterlife, Ricky Gervais. Okay. Afterlife, I was thinking of the video game, but that's Half-Life. That's not the same. But yeah, Ricky's still doing stuff then. I didn't know that. I thought he just like disappeared. Which normally happens, you know, comedians come on the scene and then they do these really cool things and they make a name for themselves and then they disappear. Just like this gentleman.
Hey. Can you hear us? Hello?
You're back.
Are we back?
You're back.
Ah, we're
Yay.
back. Good job.
That's what you just had to turn it off, turn it back on.
Well, we will try not to hit that again.
Yeah,
How's that?
Try not to hit those cables.
You were having fun with Kabuki anyway, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's
Kabuki's
always-
angel.
He's awesome.
You know, she's always been so much fun to have on the show and join, and she always adds so much. We always appreciate it.
Yep, huge supporter.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good show. She goes, it was funny and sort of short, bittersweet.
That's awesome, Kabuki.
She wasn't actually talking about this show. She was talking about another show called Afterlife with Ricky Gervais.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, it's same analogy,
I like that show.
same celebrity, all of that. Yeah.
I really like that show.
So which
really
one of
good.
you used the video and which one of you used the suicidal one?
Yeah.
Oh, that part. Well, we both are, so it's okay. Don't worry. No
And I've got the
distinction
Ricky
there
Gervais
either.
humor. That's what it is.
No, so anyway, you asked me what was going on in Babblot, and basically we have just been doing a ton of preparation for this weekend to showcase all of the awesome things that we're doing at Game Toppers. New storage racks that are just, I think these are going to solve a problem that a lot of people have, not knowing where to put all their great game mats. And we showcasing a lot of the new game mats that we have.
It was amazing. The new mechanism, or not mechanism, but the new stand you have for the mats is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think people are going to like it.
Yeah.
We'll see. But we also have a whole line of storage bags that people can tote their game mats around with and hang them up and things like that. And the variety of our game mats.
Yeah,
I know you have one of our game mats. But when you see all of these in the flesh, I mean, they're just
amazing.
They're spectacular, right?
What's your favorite game mat?
Oh, I love so many of them, but I think the Dungeon Mat and the Texas Hold'em are probably my two favorites.
Nice.
But the number one selling mat has always been the Adventure Mat, and then just the standard red like you have.
Yeah, like I have. So I can understand, because the Adventure Map definitely is super cool. So for me, it's between Adventure Map and the space. I don't know. I like the nebula stuff in the space one. It's so cool.
Cool.
So,
well, Mark, for those of you that don't know, and we're going to interview him a little bit more in the show, but Mark, he has a vast history of content creation, video work, photography. He's been on many of the Star Trek sets, knows many of the Star Trek folks, and it's so much fun reminiscing and talking about these things with Mark. It's always really neat. But long and short, that's what's been happening. We're just doing a ton of Game Topper things and so excited about the upcoming Kickstarter. I really believe it's going to blow people away, the new things that we're offering, the innovations, the improvements, everything that's backward compatible. People are going to be excited. So we're expecting to do wonderful things and bring Game Toppers to Europe, Barry.
woo, next level.
So your buddies over there are going to be able to get in on the goodness.
Oh yeah, and they can't wait. They can't wait to spend more money on Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's basically what's been going on. Let's move on to our segment, Things That Make You Go,
Okay.
Things that make us go, Board game news. Berkey and Badger reflect on the current events that are happening in the board game industry. Some may be good, some may be bad. But there are all things that make us go,
That's not the news file.
Wow, that's not right.
With technical problems on the end of the show, the new segment has thrown our co-host off the show.
Wow, that was impressive.
That was like crazy graphics, man.
It was amazing. They were even moving like animated.
Oh, it was spectacular. It's like it was better than any lens flare I've ever seen.
Right?
Yeah.
The dangers of live TV. Nicely said, Kabuki.
Yeah, just don't bring any pets on the show.
Meow. Well, tell us some things that have been. You want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, because I've lost my script. There it is. There it is. I'm here.
You want me to go first?
Go on then, because you've probably got something more important and more interesting than.
Well, I don't know. It's something that made me go, and it was a report that came out from ICV2, and this had to do with hobby game sales. And what the report basically said is that they totaled $1.5 billion in 2018. And this was kind of interesting. The thing that made me go, was another subsequent report. Okay. One of the reports talked about how Magic the Gathering had a 3% drop in sales, or excuse me, a 3% increase in sales. But this report says the largest segment in the hobby was collectible card games, and that income had gone down in 2018 to $625 million from $725 million in 2017.
Wow.
Well, that's $100 million.
Yeah.
But Magic the Gathering, the biggest player in that segment, had an increase. So where in the collectible card
it dropped off,
and they go on to define it. I could read this whole article, but it would bore most people. So it just made me go, And then it talked about the overall hobby actually growing. And so we see that there was a 14% decline in collectible games.
Okay.
But growth rates in other categories range from flat with the hobby card and dice games to an 18% increase in role-playing games.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And do you think you know where that 18% has come from? One of the big contributors to that? What do you think it is?
Well, okay, so Mark might have some inside information. I'm going to give a couple thoughts.
Okay.
When I think of role-playing games, I'm thinking that it's probably coming from Pathfinder. It's probably coming from D&D and possibly some Star Wars licensing.
Absolutely. Star Wars has to be the key, but I think one of the shows that's getting people maybe back into it that haven't been into it for a while is like Stranger Things on Netflix.
Oh, Stranger Things.
It's one of the big things they're playing on the show is D&D.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the fact that media and shows are incorporating role-playing is starting to spur this movement, right? I think it's pretty cool.
I think you're right. I mean, you're working for D&D things now for sound. And when you take a look at the miniatures market and painting in the hobby and people making these elaborate sets for D&D now, I mean, people are really getting into it. And some of the media channels like Geek and Sundry and Critical Role.
And even Caffeine.tv that I broadcast on, they have a new show, Dungeon Run, that they just started. They're like episode 2, episode 3 is this next week. So they are jumping into this as well and having a regular weekly show around it.
On the Secret Cabal Gaming podcast, I work closely with Jamie and the crew there. They started a show just a year and a half ago called Lords of the Dungeon, and specifically talking about how to prepare, your adventures and how to be a good GM and all of these things. And it was awarded the #1 podcast of the year year before last, because there's a popularity of people are getting into playing games like this.
Yep.
Yeah. When you mentioned who you thought responsible, I thought it was going to be Geek and Sundry because they're streaming a lot.
They are
Dragons.
But Critical Role is broken off now. They're not part of Geek and Sundry anymore. So.
No.
Okay, I don't follow it, so I just see it from time to time.
Yeah, Josiah's been following it, and they just did this animated series that they're making, and they raised like $11 million.
And quickly, like really fast. Boom. Yeah.
He said they could have made more if they would have had stretch goals because people just went nuts over it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember Lance even saying that there's a hell of a lot of role-playing games coming up on Kickstarter all the time.
And that's an interesting point from Chad, from Kabuki, that 5th edition made some of the rules, some of the gameplay more streamlined and easier maybe to bring new players into. It's not as, I don't know how to say it, like legalistic, not so rigid.
Not so rule heavy.
Yeah. So,
well, it was $55 million to $65 million. So that was a $10 million increase according to this report. And yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. And we're still showing a 7% upturn in hobby board games.
Yeah.
So while Collectable took a pretty big hit, whichever Collectable games that lost that, I'm not exactly sure. That's that sometimes, you know, these reports, you don't always know what the source is. They talk about their source in here, that ICV2, that this came from industry insiders of this and that. It'd be nice to see comprehensive data on it to really find out.
It would be really interesting. I would love to see that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what made me go,
That's a very interesting subject. I wish I knew more about it. Okay. To me, with my non-interesting subject, this is something which just cropped up while I was talking to Scott Alden the other day. We all recently, well, most of us recently watched a video from Eric Martin as he showed us how to play Wacky Races, the very much anticipated game from Seymour. I've said Seymour. Cool Mini.
Cool Mini, you're not. Come on.
Yes, Cool Mini.
I think they want to be known as Come On now.
No, come on.
So, come on.
So, and Eric was, you know, he was personal about the game. He did mention some things about the game itself and stated his opinion a bit. See, not secretly, but it was there. You can get the air of the impression of what he thought of the game. And Scott seemed a little bit perturbed by this because BGG as a collective is not supposed to be an opinionated site. So if, you know, a member of their team is being a reviewer, so to speak, it puts them on a very thin line between reviewer and reporter.
Yeah.
Now, to me personally, it doesn't really bother me because the video is not really a news-related article. It's Eric explaining the game and putting across to the viewers the air that the game gives to the players. And for me, it doesn't really affect my opinion of what Eric does as a reporter and what he does with his videos, which is great, I think. But this may perturb other people, possibly, maybe publishers, into thinking that BGG is going down the road of, you know, we are actually going to tell people if your game's good or not.
Yeah, well, I can see Aldi wanting to be more neutral because they have a wide variety of publishers that advertise on Board Game Geek. They support the conventions and wanting to maintain a level of objectivity, you know, so that it is fair and balanced reporting, if you want to use that term.
Yep.
That kind of thing. And it's probably hard sometimes because sometimes when you're reporting, you know, I think a lot of reporters inject their opinion about a lot of things.
I think so too.
And it's probably very difficult not to do that.
It is,
you know,
very
if you have a bias, right?
Yeah, it totally is difficult. And even like the Dice Tower previews that I do, it's hard because I get so excited. It's hard for me not to inject that. And then even if it's a bad game, there's still always something about it that's neat. Like, oh, the artwork was great though, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard for me not to convey that. But whenever I do convey something I like about a game in that setting of that overview or that preview, I'm always quick to follow it up. Hey guys, but if this looks like something of interest to you, you know, so I always followed up with that. It's not really, hey, I never in those type of videos, I'm never saying, hey, you need to back this game. You know, it's never that kind of thing, right? So it is a fine line to balance though, because if you're seen as gushing about something and then the next video you're not, it's really kind of rough, right?
Yeah.
So I try to just be enthusiastic about gaming when I do those videos. So.
Yeah. And
that's a good perspective.
That's one thing I avoided as you know, a previewer of a Kickstarter game. It was I gave my opinion because you know, technically you are the front salesman. You're the door salesman. You're knocking on people's door and saying, "This is the game. This is how it works. Go and back it," with no, you know, concrete thing behind it. It's
right.
And I feel that backers should know about the good things about the game and the bad things about the game. Well, not bad things, but things that
Right.
could be worked on because it's Kickstarter.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm a reviewer. If I point out some of the problems and bugs that I find in a game, in the past, it's worked pretty well. The publisher will take them on board. They absorb that, they tweak it, they address it, or they flat out say, no, well, we've tested it 200 times. This works, for us.
Right.
It's just then my opinion of the game. But
yeah, and a lot of that I frame in the vein of, hey, this is a prototype. The rules are in beta form, so things still might be changing. So that's why the videos are overviews, and you can't use them to learn to play, and they're not meant to be like a review, because they're really, by the time it's published, things could be very different.
yeah. I've had that. It's like I would have rules questions while I'm filming the video. It's like, wait a minute, if this rule says this and this rule says that, there's a problem here. And I contact the publisher. Oh, that's all been changed. It's like, okay, I've got to reshoot.
Yep. Indeed.
Well, it's hard for people, I think, too, to be, there's so much subjectivity, when it comes to opinion and perspective, too.
Right.
So that we already have a pretty difficult time just with reviewers being trusted.
Right.
Because people feel that their loyalties are divided, or maybe they haven't fully vetted the game well, or whatever. And so you have so much controversy there. And now it's like there's a little bit of controversy here too, trying to keep that line drawn, know.
And the other thing about our previews is that we're very clear up front that these are paid. We're not trying to hide the fact that they're paid. We're not, just saying the stuff without mentioning that. That's the very first thing that we say in the videos. So
yeah, that's a good distinction you guys always do make.
Need to be paid to work your way through beta rules.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Rule books are rough anyway, but
could there be like a surcharge, like for shipping, gas surcharge? Could there be a bad rule surcharge?
That would be great.
And that's why I started charging way back then. It was just a case of, people were just throwing in Kickstarter prototypes at me. And it was like, oh, this is work.
Yeah.
Deciphering your rules, finding an idiot brave enough to play with me with this. Okay. You pay me, and then I'll do a video and show the world how it works.
Yep.
Well, that's our topic, things that make us go, But last week, a couple weeks ago, we actually had a poll about our 4th anniversary, and we asked people what they liked about the Berkey and Badger Board Game Babble show and things like that. And so tell us what happened in the poll there, Badger.
And in the poll, Badger is up on the screen, as you can see. I put down all the segments of our shows. And I asked you, what is your favorite part of our shows? And as you can see, there are a number of voters, he says.
It's small for us. We can't read it. So you go ahead and explain it.
The section which people enjoy the most was the things that make us go, for some strange reason. I was shocked.
Go through each one of the categories. Kabuki hasn't voted, and we'll let her vote online chat.
Okay. Oh,
yeah, you're on the spot now, Kabuki. We're looking for Wub in all the wrong places. Looking for Wub.
So there's our Babble subject. There's our Woods of Evergreen, which is the games that withstood the test of time. Our Good, the Bad, and the Ugly section, which is our first impression section. Things that make us go, which is our rumors and news section. What's Up in Babblot is where we just talk about us. And What Game is Behind the Door, where we interrogate our guests. And the Knights of Babylot is where we review a game.
Yeah. So what was the general consensus there? I know this poll hasn't been up very long yet, but
no. It's unfortunately I was a bit slow on doing the edit.
That's fine.
I'm not professional. Okay, things that make you go got the most votes. As I said, I was a bit surprised because I thought it would have been the guest spot, which is What Game is Behind the Door. But that came in second, joint second with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
All right. Well, that's what Kabuki Kid said. She likes the what's behind the door segment because she likes to play along with the game.
Yeah, I thought that's what people would like, that playing along with a podcast and guessing instead of just sitting there like a mindless zombie on their lawnmower as they trim their 9 acres of land without splatting cats.
He's talking about me.
That's awesome.
Well, I remember when we had Scott Alden on the show from BGG, and he hadn't actually heard about our show before. He knew me and all that, but he hadn't actually. And so he gets on the show, and when we did this section that we're going to do with you as well, slightly modified version, he just thought it was so much fun. He goes, man, we should be doing this more often. He just thought it was a great time.
It sounds awesome.
And so that was kind of fun.
That's great.
You should get us to be contributors of the Board Game Geek, and we just interview people in this. That's it. Our whole section is interviewing people in that manner.
Yeah. What game's behind the door? Boom, boom, boom. Make it happen, Bubba Badger.
I'll pester him on Thursday.
I wish I could stay up for the Alaboom. My days are so long and stressful, and I'm just so mentally running everywhere. By the time 9 o'clock runs along, there's nothing left. So I haven't been on the Alaboom for quite some time. I really miss it.
Just too busy.
I've been there every morning for 4 o'clock.
Kabuki.
All righty. Well, that was the poll. We just want to give a little bit of love also to our sponsor that's been with us for such a long time, Arcane Wonders. Just love the folks at Arcane Wonders. Brian Pope is one of my favorite people in the industry. Designer of Mage Wars, Spoils of War. I love Spoils of War. Now, I got to play a part in it, so I'm so biased that I don't know if you can trust me or not. So I don't know if I trust me. But the truth is, I love this game. Yeah. It's Liar's Dice on steroids, and Liar's Dice for me was okay. But when we brought that Viking theme and that dice rolling mechanism to get artifacts, it changed up the rules. I loved it. I just thought it was brilliant. And I don't even, with games now not having great, longevity and tails on them and all that, I think this game is really great. I loved it. But they have so many wonderful Dice Tower essential games like Sheriff of Nottingham and the Merry Men expansion. Brilliant game by Sergio Halaban. Brilliant game. Onitama. We were just filming some of our game toppers with Onitama and the expansion. It's a fantastic game. You take a look at Royals. Of course, I was meepleized.
Yes.
Right, there's the little meeple, if you can see him. Did I ever tell you the story about this?
Because they are.
No. That's my pirate joke. Oh, you know why pirate jokes are funny, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Pull the cable.
Well, I'm at Origins one year, and this was the year I was dressed up as the king. And so Cynthia comes over from Meeple Source, and she goes, do you mind if I take some pictures of you? And she was kind of acting a little strange almost. I was like, well, yeah, sure, absolutely, no problem. Well, okay, could you turn around, and okay, and so she's taking pictures of me and all that. And then I thought, well, she likes the costume, and my daughters have this wonderful costume company. Right. Fine. Didn't think much of it. Well, comes to be, Tony Galati had put her up to meepleize me. And at this point, I was one of only 4 people who've ever been meepleized.
That's awesome.
So it was just kind of a fun little thing. And that's directly from the art cover of the game Royals. Amazing. And anyway, we could go on and on talking about Arcane Wonders, but they have a brand new game called Land, Air, and Sea. And you should be seeing that launching at retailers soon. It's a little tactical card game. Have you played that?
I have. I played it at Dice Tower West. And it's just, we got a little demo of it, not a whole game, right? But it was pretty neat.
Yeah, it looks great. I haven't got a copy of it yet and been able to play it. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure it's, again, one of those.
It's a great
really
little
cool
lunchtime game is what it appears to be. So.
Okay, fantastic. Well, with that, we are going to go to our games section. What game is behind the door?
So 1 of 4 people were meepleized. Who were the other 3 people? Was it the green person, Roger Red Hat, Billy Blue Hat, and
no, I think it was like President Obama and Ronald Reagan. Well, there you go again. Stuff like important people, not
That's awesome.
E.T. probably.
E.T.
Yeah, E.T.
Yoda.
Yoda.
Welcome, everybody, to What Game is Behind the Door? In this segment, will we put in our special guest to the test by asking them 3 questions. Questions like, what was the last game that they purchased? What is the game they're most excited about getting? And what is their favorite game right now? Berkey and Badger will have to figure out what these answers are by asking questions in particular styles. Let's find out if Berkey and Badger can get 3 out of 3 or fall flat on the floor like a floundering thingy.
I love that part.
That's fun.
We'll have to make a video of us floundering like thingies.
Yeah, we should do a flounder video when we're at the UK Games Expo.
I agree.
We'll get on the ground and flop around.
That
You
would
can
be
make some
amazing.
music, and
That would be amazing.
we can do fish floundering. Our bodies can go up and down.
Okay. So here we are in the cold, dark, dank, and dangerous
Yes.
dark prison with our new prisoner, Mark Stread, who's been chucked in here due to the fact that he's from the future. Yes. He's been on the Enterprise, and we are totally against future armorist people in Babblot. So yes, he's a respected board game player and board game reviewer and board game photographer, but no trekking here.
No trek.
He's awesome.
I'm a trekkie as well.
That is not logical, Jim.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm just trying to find a rubber band because Kabuki Kid said I could have $10. I ain't got a rubber band.
That's hilarious.
There is no theory of them.
No, that's in the audience though. All
Okay.
right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to ask 3 questions, and we're going to do them in a game show style. And you at home, if you're listening to the podcast, or you Kabuki, you can try and guess the answers to these questions. The first question is, what is the last game that Mark has purchased? And we're doing this in a kind of typical 20 questions sort of way, but we're not doing 20 questions. We're only going to be asking 5 questions each. And normally our guest will have a copy of the game and they will do a component moment. But unfortunately, he's right next to Berkey.
Yes.
So I have to turn off the chat now.
Yes.
So
I have to find a pen and paper.
I don't have a pen and paper either. Just do it from memory.
Okay, I'll do it from memory. Okay.
Do it in the chat. Do it in our chat.
Okay, I've got to turn off the chat so I can't see if Kabuki gets it right before us until she's got it right.
It is Sunday afternoon here, so okay.
Excuses. Most Babbleites like to stay up late and roll dice.
That's possibly true.
It better be true.
Otherwise, he's moving to another village.
That's right.
I'd be out at the lake right now. That's what I'd be doing.
So let's see if Mark can escape our prison with these questions. So, what was the last game he purchased? You're going to start with a traditional question.
My question is, what was the last game you purchased?
Oh, no.
They have to be yes or no. That's the way it's got to be, right?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be yes and no.
So my traditional question is it in the size of a Ticket to Ride box?
No.
No, he says. He says no.
Okay. Is it a Euro style game?
No.
Okay.
No. So now he would show us a component.
Can I name something instead?
Can he name a component?
Yeah, but as I said earlier, you could describe a component to us.
Okay, quickly describe a component to us.
Red cube.
No.
Execution.
A card with a wheel on it.
A card with a wheel on it.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh.
Now this is the last game he purchased.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that. Oh no, it's not Euro game. I was gonna say Stone Age. No, I'll pass.
Wacky Races.
No.
Okay, so is this primarily a card game?
Yes.
Okay. With a wheel on it. Is this Milborn?
No.
Yeah, there you go. There's my question.
That was not good, Barry.
That was not good.
That was not good.
I feel like you should get a do-over for that one.
Yeah, it'll do me over later.
I have no card games in my head. Okay, that's gonna help.
With a wheel.
All right.
I will tell you, this is going to be hard for you guys to get.
Okay, give us another component explanation.
The game involves parts.
Parts.
Well, what's parts?
I don't know. Car parts.
Okay, be more specific. The game involves robot parts.
Robot parts.
Robot parts. Okay.
Oh.
Question.
I got a guess.
Go on.
This is bad. It's the Dice Tower Essential Game Critical Mass.
No.
Oh. That's a mech on mech.
Yeah, I like that.
Great
game.
battle game from
I love it.
Yeah, I love that
game.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of with parts in a card is there was a game about 4 or 5 years ago where you build like a Frankenstein. I can't think what it's called.
Robot part.
It's a similar kind of thing.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so third question for me then is this a small box, just a deck of card type of game?
Yes.
He said yes.
Yay. We already kind of divined that. You know, that
well, you never know. Sometimes there's
small
board,
deck of cards.
Yeah,
No.
eliminating the board. Don't be badgering me, Badger.
So I take it that this game has no dice in it. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh.
That was
Okay.
I get trolled on my own show.
I know, it's awesome.
So you're building robots. I can't think of any. Is this a reprint of an older game?
No.
Okay. No clues. No ideas.
All right, another clue.
The clue. This game has a set of action cards that have a fair amount of take that.
Take that.
Build your own Munchkin robot.
No, but that's not a bad guess.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Is that it?
No, I'm not placing robot game.
It's gonna be rough, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this a game made in Europe?
No.
I have.
Not that I don't think so. I'm pretty sure not.
Okay. Does this game have an IP?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh. Real steel.
Invisible component moment number 4.
Yeah, right. Oh man, what else can I say about this?
Isn't it?
All right.
Instruction book.
There's not a lot of pieces to this game.
Okay.
Could you show us the box with the title?
No. Negative. Okay, I will say, since there's not really another type of component, I will say that the game is based on a video game.
Oh. Okay.
Robot video game.
Robot video game. Okay. There's no robots in.
There isn't a BattleTech or something like that game, is there? I'm going to say BattleTech.
No.
I'm thinking Bloodborne, but the other video game which has been announced as well by Cool Mini, which is
Millborn.
Millborn. Yeah, Cool Mini are producing Millborn Kickstarter with real cars.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool, right? That'd be amazing.
And real nails.
And real nails.
Yeah, dirty Dick Dastard.
Yeah, right.
God of War.
God of No.
God of No.
No.
That's 5, isn't it?
No, that's 4. You want to prolong the torture? Yeah, I want to prolong the torture.
I think we should just
give up.
I think, maybe we could just kill him first.
Yeah. Well, you're the closest to shock him with the shock stick.
Yeah, I've got clamps. I can do something. I got a sander. A belt sander would do a number on him.
Yes, it would.
Clamps! Use the clamps on him!
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna give up because
I give up.
I think it's obscure.
It is obscure. You got any other questions there, Barry?
No, I've got nothing. I'm gonna check what Kabuki Kid has said so far.
Yeah, let's see what Kabuki says.
Yeah, let's see.
He said Robot Lab.
That's nope.
Voltron, Mega Man.
Nope.
Mega Man.
Good guesses.
Voltron. She's usually pretty.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it truly is the last game that I purchased. And it's because I'm such a huge fan of the video game. And even though the game is super light and you can play it like in 15 minutes, I still had to have it. So I'm a giant fan of Borderlands. And this is a game based on the Claptrap, the little robot in the game. And it's called Tiny Tina's Robot Party. And you have cards. You start with the base of the robot, and you're building the arms and the leg and the wheel or the legs or whatever it is. And then your opponent and everybody has action cards that can disrupt your building of the robot, and that's all it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's not really typically a game. If it was anything other than Borderlands, I probably wouldn't even have touched it. But I had to have it because it's got all the Borderlands art. It's an IP from Gearbox. They made it themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm not even familiar. Arcane Wonders did Ruby Combat Ready from the Ruby TV IP, but I would have not even known that. There's a picture Barry's put up. For those of you watching the show.
Yep, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's brand new. It's not even been rated.
Yep, it's brand new. I'm going to do a review of it.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, we're going to move on to part number 2 then. So you're ahead 1-0 right now. So part 2, you have to provide us with your drawing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What am I supposed to draw? You're supposed to
draw something, picture armor, Pictionary style, or of the game that you are most excited about getting.
Most excited about getting. Okay.
So, Berkey's gone off to find it.
Man, how can I draw this without giving it away 100%? That's the thing. All right.
Well, we do make the rules to this game.
Yeah. And I'm I am not a good drawer.
Yeah,
I'm going to do stick figures.
That's
I'm serious. I'm serious.
That's
all right. So, man, how can I do that without giving it? That's so much iconic stuff here.
I think I know what it is already.
I think this one's going to be easy.
Yes, please.
It's going to all go down to the tiebreaker.
Yes. And again, I am a terrible...
We don't really want to know anything about your game. We just want to see how crap you are.
All right, this is my drawing.
Left a bit. The other left. The other left. Okay, as you can see, there is a table with a piece of cheese on it, The sun is melting.
I tried to make it obscure.
This is absolutely the worst drawing I've ever seen.
Yes.
No, I know what it is. It's not as bad as Marty's TIE
I
Fighter.
tried to make it really bad, actually.
It's like a megaphone.
It's so going to be so obvious.
Well, you gotta explain this a little bit, right?
So there's a rectangle, and on top of that rectangle,
Oh, I know what it is.
with a light projecting out of it, with maybe a circle in the middle, which hasn't been drawn.
Good grief!
Yeah, on purpose it was drawn poorly.
Yes, Kabuki.
Yes, he's got it. He's got it.
It's Batman.
Yes, it's Batman.
There, now we're cooking with peanut oil.
So that would have just been too obvious. I had to make it somewhat obscure.
He's talking about cheese on a table, for goodness sakes.
Wait a minute, but it could be any Batman game. It could be Batman the deck building game.
Maybe.
Batman.
But more precisely, Batman Gotham City Chronicles.
Yes.
Jen.
Okay. So why are you excited about getting this?
Oh my gosh, I've wanted this game since I first saw that Kickstarter. I'm a huge fan of the series. My daughter is a huge fan, and I know it's a game we're going to engage with all the time. And it's got kind of that Conan-ish kind of gameplay that I liked, but in a much cooler theme. And all the minis and everything for it are fantastic. So I'm super excited to play this game. I'm really, really looking forward to it. So
yes, it's fun. It's fun, especially if you play with your daughter as well.
Yeah. Yep. And I plan to play it on our broadcast, caffeine.tv. I plan to play it there as well. So,
cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I will tell Monolith. You let me know, and I will.
Yes, I will let you know for sure when we do it.
Cool.
Wunderbar.
Yep. Wunderbar. So I had to make that like super abstract because anything I did was iconic.
Well, that's the point. Okay. So 1-1. We're the winners. Okay. We can quit now because tiebreakers go in the defense of the offense, not the defense.
Are you sure?
That's the way it always is.
Not in this case.
Another thing you could have done is 2 stick figures laying down and 1 small stick figure standing up.
Yeah.
That would have been a bit more cryptic.
That would have been more cryptic.
Okay. Part number 3.
Okay, what is the current favorite game that Mark loves playing, wants to play right now, then rather be with us right now?
Yes.
He's going to give us 5 one-word clues.
That's pretty much any game, isn't it?
Thanks for the tip, Kabuki. Mark is not into Euros, right? So.
Yeah, definitely not.
I'm so glad to know that.
It's just not my thing.
Okay. So
I'm definitely the big story-driven thematic player. However, I do like abstracts as well.
He does like abstracts. All right.
So
Batman is technically mainly Euro.
Yeah, I know, but so technically is Adrenaline. Technically, it's Euro as well, and I love that game. So, but
all right. So he loves that game. Or is that the game?
No.
I thought you were giving us 5 clues in one word there.
Yeah, right. I could do it. So my first word is tiles.
Tiles.
Okay,
I'm going to go with a simple one. Azul.
No, I was just going to say you should have let me talk.
I'm sorry.
Negative.
I'm going to say I know it's not Azul.
Not Azul. Azul, I have to say, is one of those games that, like, even Mike Fitzgerald told me, "Oh, you got to try it. It's so good." Everybody's like, "It's so good," and then I'm in the middle of playing it, and I'm like, "Is this it?"
Yeah, I was pretty much the same. It's just like,
yep,
I like it. My kids like it, and my wife likes it, and it's one of those games that is so accessible that. But it's like I've played it quite a bit now, and it's not like I'm really jonesing to play it.
Right.
But if I needed to get one really quick so that we could play a quick half-an-hour game, then I would probably pull that one out. But
when you like being nasty to other players in that game.
Yes.
But when you just try to build your tableau and you don't want anyone to interfere, that's when it's not fun.
Right.
Hey, Ben Powers is in the house. How you doing, Ben? Good to have you. Okay, so we're trying to get Mark's most current favorite game, and he has said tiles, and I'm going to go with. This might be too simple, but I'm just going to say Carcassonne.
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll get it out of the way.
Number 2.
All right, number 2. We're gonna say mystery.
Mystery
Mm.
and tiles. Oh, I'm going to say murder, mystery in Hong Kong.
That's a good guess, but no, I do like that game quite a bit.
Tiles and mystery.
Gray Fox game.
Yep, it's quite good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What's it called? 2-player game. Dan King's, one of Dan King's. Mr. Jack.
Oh, that is also a good game, which I enjoy quite a bit, but no.
And I've never played that one.
It's quite good. It's a fantastic 2-player game. So,
yeah.
And Dan is actually one, I've been wanting to play it for years, and he's actually the one that got me to play it finally. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I actually ordered it immediately while playing with him.
Wow. That's great.
Yep. Okay, so third word, we're going to say custom dice.
2 words.
Oh, sorry. Dice. Whoops. Dice.
No, custom dice is one word in my vocabulary.
That's right. I just thought it made more sense to say
it
it that way.
Yes, dice. Yeah.
We accept the description.
All right.
Okay. I'm being pedantic.
Yes, one word. Sorry.
You're being plantanic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Live long and plantanic.
Boy, custom dice with tiles. Is it like Dwarven Forge?
Nope.
Ooh. You like that?
Whoa. Might have been mime rolling dice. Yes, Kabuki.
Dice.
It was good.
I'm going to pass for now.
Oh, you're going to pass. Wow. You're just going to give up.
No. I just need to scroll
Throw
through.
something out so I don't throw it out.
Okay, well, I'm scrolling through BGG right now.
I think that's kind of cheating.
Yeah, I didn't think you were allowed to do that there, Bubba.
I'm allowed to, yeah, but the thing is, with 200,000 million games on there, how are you going to find this one? I'm not particularly...
Okay, custom dice. Okay, so number
3 or 4.
4.
Right, number 4. Okay, so...
Sorry. Tiles.
Oh man, no, that's too easy. Can't do that one. No.
You can do easy.
I'm gonna say expansions.
Oh, good.
Like no plural, like multiple lots.
Yeah. So Carcassonne's already dead.
Tiles, though, that's what's throwing me because I don't. I'd say Star Wars Destiny, but
yeah, I was thinking that.
He's a big Star Wars guy, but there's no tiles. There's cards. There's little chits and stuff for wounds and whatnot, but
yeah,
it could be that.
Yeah.
Tiles.
I can't think of any games with tiles and custom dice off the top of my head, which is not a Euro game.
Yeah, it's the tiles that are throwing me.
Yeah. Because otherwise I would have gone down the route of I can't even think of the name of that game, but the dice.
He said he likes the thematic games though too, so so maybe there's some. Oh, how about Rune Wars or Rune?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No, I'm gonna pass again.
All right. Last one word.
Meaningful word.
Meaningful. Okay.
Expansions, like everything's got an expansion.
No, but it has tons.
Yeah.
All right. Story.
Game over.
Where is my belt sander?
I want to win this.
I'm open to a jigsaw or something too,
I could have said miniatures.
And a clamp. We're gonna see a picture of Mark's half of his face sanded off.
Put the other half in a game topper. Someone's going to get
It goes with his Batman game.
That's right.
You know, Mark Halfface. Oh gosh. Well, I don't know what it'd be with tiles.
I did not see it in your collection.
I probably just don't know what you're talking about. It's odd. I thought about tiling. I've got Isle of Skye. I love that. King Domino. Love that.
Yeah, but that's no and
because I probably don't have that many tile games. Okay.
Yeah.
This is his favorite.
Dice. No dice in that. There's no dice in that tile game. No, I'm drawing a blank.
So,
all right.
Do you guys lose? Because Kabuki wins.
Kabuki wins. What'd she say?
Mansions of Madness.
Mansions of Madness.
Second edition.
See, I didn't know that. Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Nice job, Kabuki.
Hey, Medina's in the house.
Castle. It's a castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben from Daedalus has this amazing insert for Mansions of Madness.
Yes.
And when you untake it, it looks like this great big hotel in the back. And
it's awesome.
Crazy amazing.
Yep.
So
I'm pretty sure I need that.
What?
Cool.
Why is it?
I think you do. I know a guy.
Yeah, you know a guy? Okay,
I
good.
know a guy.
Yeah, so that game, it has so many expansions and the tiles are so many that I've got the big box full of just tiles, and then the two of the smaller boxes full of tiles, and then another box full of the figures, and then I have to have just some other box for all the big figures.
What are the tiles for
the building
for
out
the path?
For building out the mansion that you're exploring, or the dockworks, or wherever you're exploring in the city.
Okay.
And there's big and small and all kinds of different configurations of the tiles.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're really nice as well.
Yeah, I hear people love that game.
And the app integration for it is amazing. So that's why I'm super excited about playing Journeys to Middle-earth, the new Lord of the Rings game.
Okay,
It has a similar kind of thing going. So I'm looking forward to trying that. I just got it, so I'll play it when I can.
I count one.
I unhooked myself.
I count 6 expansions.
There we go. So yeah, Mansions of Madness, my current favorite, and has been for quite a while. Now, a close runner-up to that would be Xia, Legends of the Drift System.
Oh, Xia.
Yep.
I know you talk about that. I'd love to play that sometime with you.
It's such a good, big, sandboxy game.
Yeah, if you ever come over here, Berkey, again, we can play it.
I like it a lot.
On your Starfield mat.
Yeah.
I would like that. So Ben asks, Mark, do you paint the minis?
Oh, man, I wish I had that skill set. I have tried to paint minis, and it is not a good thing. And obviously, there's a practice thing. I've only done it a couple times, but as you do it more, you probably get better. But man, I didn't expect to be so bad out of the gate.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, we're going to move right along, and we're going to move into our Babble topic, but we also want to give a little love to our other sponsor, Academy Games. Uwe and Gunther, congratulations, Gunther. They had a baby boy.
Ooh,
and he was born on May the 4th. So he's got the Force with him.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But Uwe and Gunther and their team at Academy Games just make some fantastic games. Mare Nostrum, one of my favorite big epic games, that their whole Birth of America series was 1775, leading the charge, I think is brilliant. Yep. Vikings 878, Freedom, the Underground Railroad. I mean, they've got the Agents of Mayhem, Pride of Babylon that they just came out with. And I know they're up to some more shenanigans with some new things too. And I just got to give them a lot of love because they just really do a great job with the games that they make. And so you can check them out at academygames.com. Nice. The Babble.
That's not a good thing to do. No, it's not a joke. It's just like end music.
Ben said he got Space Base. I love Space Base. I got it sitting behind me here.
Yeah.
Is there space for your Space Base behind you?
Yeah, it's over here.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't reach it.
Okay.
So just to be clear, I did win, right?
We don't ever let the prisoners know that. You just rot now for many years because you've shown us up on our own show.
Yeah. Have you noticed Richard Ham's in the cell next to you? He's so quiet.
Just scratches away at the stone.
Now it's time for the Babble, 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 Berkey and Badger's Board Game Babble.
Babble. Who gave these two monkeys a podcast?
The other two monkeys.
Well, we have the illustrious Mark Stread from the Board Game Corner. He's a master videographer. He's done. He has a major in photography. He does the Dice Tower preview videos. He's been a Dice Tower contributor. He has his own podcast with the Board Game Corner. He's on Caffeine TV, which recently was purchased with Fox Network, and does Lego videos.
Yes.
He's a man of much accomplishment, and I can't think of. It's fantastic that you're here with us to talk about this topic of media creation and stuff. But before we jump right in that, just tell us a little bit more about what you're doing in the hobby and how you got started with all that.
So how we get started, let's start there. So what was fun is that way back when Tom was first doing, well, this is like 6 years ago, he had Board Game Breakfast and just had a few contributors, and mostly it was Ryan Metzler and Dan King was his other, and Sam and Z were there a little bit, right?
Yep.
And so on Board Game Breakfast, Tom says, hey, if anybody wants to do reviews, let me know. And so my co-host Randy and I had been playing games for 10 years or more, and every Friday, and then complaining about the games. And I just sent Tom an email and said, sure. And I copied Randy and didn't tell him I was doing it. We'd like to do that. And so Tom is like, okay, well, I have to see something. I said, okay, great. So at the time I was working for Wirestone, a marketing company. So I had access to all the video equipment and everything. So I bring it all home, and like in 15 minutes, Randy comes over. We got to throw something together, some game we know. And we did, and you can still go see the video. It's pretty terrible. Our first video, but Walk the Plank was our first game.
Wow.
And we threw the Board Game Corner name together in like 15 minutes. We had some makeshift logo back then that we quickly threw up and sent Tom everything. And we thought it was a demo reel, and then he just posted it.
Oh, wow.
And that's how it all started.
Wow.
So, but I'd been playing games from like the 70s, right?
Right.
To date myself. The first game I ever bought with my own money was Awful Green Things from Outer Space, when you bought it inside the magazine, and it was a Steve Jackson game.
Okay.
So that was the first game I ever bought. And then through the years, I started doing more with the Dice Tower. About 2 years ago, I lost my day job. I was in the tech industry for 20 years. And then Tom and I were talking, and he said, how do you feel about playing some Kickstarter games? And I said, sure. And so that's how the Dice Tower preview thing started for me. And we have almost a little over 200 videos now, a couple of years later. And so I do that primarily for the Dice Tower. And really, Dice Tower is my main focus. I love doing stuff on that network. And then until recently, I was doing a show with Z and Rebecca called Talking Towers. We've got like 5 or 6 episodes of that you can go check out. And then I try to contribute when I can, definitely to crowdsourcing, the big episode, because then I do a recap of all the previews that I've done recently.
Oh, okay.
So that's a show I always contribute to, but I'm looking at I'm going to kick in more reviews again, and I would really like to do follow-up series to my previews. Now I have the published version from prototype to published, and do like a 5-minute video, 7-minute video, just saying, okay, now here's the real one. Here's how it compares to the prototype that I played, and now here's my final score on the game. Something like that I'd like to do. And then just, any other I love to do a segment called Ramblings, where I'm walking, because I walk all the time. And I go like hike in mountains, and I talk about a board game topic, and then also talk about something in Colorado where I'm at. and it's kind of my adventures in and around Colorado, and then I talk about board games.
Okay.
So I'd love to do that series as well. So, and then for live broadcasts, jump over to caffeine.tv. I do board game nights there. We do lots of publishers give us stuff to give away. And Lego, the Lego thing happened because they said, hey, could you do like Q&As? And I said, okay, well, I don't want to just sit here. So I started putting together a Star Wars kit. And then I was turned into this big thing. And I'm the Lego guy and the board game guy on caffeine.tv.
That's fantastic.
So,
Yeah, Mark's always does such great work, and I have a great deal of respect for Mark's work. In fact, last year on our Kickstarter, I commissioned Mark to help me with our video, The Case of the Topless Table.
Yes.
And Eric Summer did the audio work.
Yeah.
Now we have a super exciting thing we're doing for the new Kickstarter where we're releasing 3 separate videos of this mystery that are going to be videos where people can win actually game mats from different publishers that are media creators that are helping us with this. But also you'll be able to enter to win a complete Game Topper system if you get all these clues that are actually in the videos. And Mark is helping me with that and developing those art assets. It's fantastic. I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a really cool script. A lot of different voice stuff going on. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, we've got Sir Barry of Doublet is going to be making his reprisal role of the illustrious.
Now, wasn't I a space creature? Space blob?
Not on this one. Now you're going to be Inspector Lestrade, I presume.
Yes.
And so we're super excited about it. Actually, you did a fabulous job on that second take that you sent me.
That wasn't the second take.
Well, maybe it was the third one. Then.
The third one?
It was fantastic.
It was.
It's fantastic. Super fun. But we're really pumped about working with you on all this video work because you've done a great job with these kind of things, and your creativity and your quality really shines through.
Thank you. Yeah, I love putting the stories together and just the video. And really, when I had my day job in the tech industry, I did a lot in Adobe Premiere and really kind of cut my teeth there. And then as that job was coming to an end, I literally had nothing to do for like 6 months at my job. So I sat there and went through every possible tutorial to learn the software. So
it's going to be a fun campaign. I think people are going to get a kick out of it. And Scott Alden from BGG's in the house. Hey,
how's it going, Aldi?
Yeah, we got to talk about you quite a bit today.
Yeah.
he's going back and he's listening. Okay,
what did they say?
Kabuki is at it trash talking.
Everybody was trash talking. Lightning. Okay. So our Babble topic, we are talking about content creation, media creators. And Barry, why don't you just start us off with that? How you want us to lead into this great topic?
With a real introduction, for the podcast. It's for you podcasters out here. This song is for you podcasters. Way back when I was a kid. As a lonely commoner in the south end of Babblot, I often get asked how I got involved and how I got to know the king. Well, if you don't know that, go and listen to the last show. So, but seriously, being a media creator is more than just playing a game and switching on the camera. Isn't it?
That's all it is. Just turn the camera on.
Well, let's do this. We've heard a little bit from Mark at the Board Game Corner about how he started and that type of thing. Barry, give us a little bit of a vision of how you started getting into this. I'll likewise share my origin story, and then
mine is pretty similar to Mark's. I made a video because I was bored, and I was making mockeries of Mr. Vassal and all the errors in his videos that he pops up at the time. And they were funny. He asked me to be a contributor, and so I thought, well, I've never been a journalist. I've never done this and that, and I enjoy watching the show. And I thought, well, why not? I'll give it a go. Hopefully, I can add a bit more professionalism to it because I am a kind of a sound and audio guy, and I've not had the experience that Mark's had, but I've done it all at home on home studio stuff in my growing up. And it just went from there. And as I've gone on, I've taken the pressure off of what I do, because it was like a lot of pressure to pump videos out, because the amount of games that come out every year is just phenomenal. I've taken the pressure off. I'm just reviewing when I can, and I am taking my time at doing those reviews by actually starting to blog them and write them down, because sometimes when you switch that camera on, all thoughts go out of your head. And you just go, oh, this is Timeline. It's a really good game. Go buy it. Cut. Yeah. So I'm trying to take this kind of thing seriously. It's not a job. It's a hobby, but I'm taking it seriously. I'm looking at every aspect of the game. I'm playing the game many times, so I see every aspect with different groups of people in different environments, to try and give people what I would say a just overview of a board game, instead of someone that just switches on the camera and says, go buy this game. Don't go buy this game. Throw it in your bin. So yeah, that's how I got started. And as you know, I'm still doing it slowly.
Well, and you started out, you were a Dice Tower contributor as well.
I was as well. We all answered the call of Vassal saying, I need reviewers. I need someone to do something for the board game breakfast. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'll give it a go. Every week. Oh, God, I can't think of something every week. What can I talk about this week, which would be interesting? Yeah. So
well, it's interesting, because when I first met you, which we talked about in our 4th year anniversary show, episode 67, we talked about how we met, and where I first became aware of Barry Doublet was as a Dice Tower contributor. He made this video that was this music video that just blew my mind. I thought it was so fantastic. What was the name of that video again?
Wouldn't it be good to not play solo?
Yeah, why wouldn't we play solo? And it was just so fantastic.
Right.
And anyway,
awesome.
Then you did your Fresh from France series.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that's awesome.
And I just thought you had this quirky, personality that kind of gelled with my humor, and I just thought it was funny. And long and short of it, I had reached out to you. Well, what had happened prior to that is we had went to Gen Con. Many of you heard this story, but we were playing. It was our first Gen Con, my son's graduation present, and that was about 6 years ago. And we were sitting down playing the game Nothing Personal in the board game library.
Yeah.
And here comes this big, tall guy with a red shirt and red cap on. and my son, he can't talk. He's like, he can't talk. And I don't know who this big lug is, but he's Tom Vassal. Well, I don't know who Tom Vassal is. That's how much I knew about board game reviewers at that point. And so, long and short of it, he sat down and played with us, actually. Yeah. And the next day, he was in there, and he saw our group. There's 4 of us. And we sat down, and we played El Grande.
Oh, yeah.
And we just had this great time. Well, the following year, Sheriff of Nottingham came out, and I was so enamored with the art from the game. And my daughters have a historical costume company. And I'm playing the game. And the demoer from Arcane Wonders was demoing the game. We were playing with a couple from Australia and just having fun. And I'm horsing around. I'm in character and voice and all of this. And then I say to the guy, I said, we've been talking about dressing up in costume, but doing a game thematically so we could take the costumes from the game. And how could we have fun with this? And I said, do you think Arcane Wonders would be interested at all? Or do you know who I could talk to? And I said, because this artwork is amazing. Well, the guy starts smiling, and here it was John Guyton, the art director for Arcane Wonders.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he goes, well, I'm the art director. And he says, and we talk a little. He goes, well, let me pass this up the channel, and we'll see what happens up the chain. And Scott Morris calls me up and says, hey, we'd love to be a part of that. Well, my daughters made this elaborate costume, the Sheriff of Nottingham. We did this all at our own expense.
Yeah.
We really did it because we just liked having fun playing games.
Right.
We like to get into character. We like to screw around, and it just fit our whole family's personality. And I thought, well, could we make a video of this? Well, I didn't know that much about video editing. Did a little bit of iMovie stuff, and a little bit with Sony Premiere, and
Yep.
I remember those emails you sent me. Oh, yes, Facebook messages you sent me. Well, what did you think of that video? And I was like, okay, you need to cut that shorter. I mean, to make that longer. And it's like, no, just send me the whole video. I'll do it for you. Like, no, I'll do it.
It's awesome.
Well, it was a process, but we were able to launch that thing, and we just had a lot of fun with it. And it's not like you have these ideas or hopes that people will enjoy it, so that it'll have some kind of presence, but the goal was just to have fun. And we did that, and we produced almost 10 board game theater videos, and that's where board game theater came out of it, and we became a Dice Tower contributor as well. And
it's awesome.
Tom thought they were cute and fun, and that's what happened.
That's cool. Well, interesting you say the thing about iMovie. As basic as that program is, that's an awesome way to start.
It's really decent,
and it's a great way to get the concepts down. Because if you try to just jump into Adobe Premiere, that's a learning curve.
Yes.
But if you have iMovie behind you, it makes Premiere a lot easier.
Well, I had started learning how to use that software with my Burke's Happy Mouse Signature Spice Company.
Right.
Because I would make videos of me grilling foods and recipes and things like that. And so I had just enough information to be dangerous, but definitely very novice. But when I started, I wasn't that worried about. I wasn't trying to be somebody. I wasn't trying to have a name, and I wasn't trying to monetize anything. That wasn't the goal. The goal was just to try to have fun and do something that people would like and be entertaining, and so that was the goal. I think this kind of goes into our next segment about this topic. It's like, do you feel that as you start moving into your content creation, all of a sudden that the dynamic of when you started and why you started changes, where it becomes more work? It becomes more of a engine that needs to be maintained.
For me, it does become more work because I am I am just never really happy with what I just produced. I want it to always be that next level better. So I put a ton of pressure on myself and make it probably even more work than I need to. But, I've still never lost the fact that I'm having the best time. I've spent 20 years in the tech industry, and I was in meetings that were like 4 hours long, and my part was 5 minutes. That never happens to me anymore. Everything I'm doing, I just have to think about one of those days, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is nothing. But there are still timelines and schedules that make things pressured. But I'm just having the best time of my life. It's just amazing, and the fact that anybody wants to watch anything I do is just kind of blows me away.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of pressure on a lot of reviewers, though. As you know, the Dice Tower team, they are constantly on the go. From game to game to game, they need to punch stuff out because people want to know what this game is, what that game is.
I definitely experienced that with the Kickstarter stuff because as this Kickstarter season ebb and flows, I have that same back to back to back to back, and it makes it really hard. And the nice thing for me is that it's not a review, so I really only have to play it once, just enough that I can talk about it and to give you kind of an overview of how it works. So I don't have probably as much pressure as they do because they have to really know the game and really, I didn't like it because of this, or whatever. But I do have that advantage. But again, I spend on average for an 8-minute video, I spend easily 3 days. Because that's not even coordinating game time. That's just filming, refilming because I'm not happy with something. And I do everything. I do all the talking bits separate from the game, showing the game. Everything is B-roll that puts over me talking. So I create a script and then I shoot it all. And then I go back and watch myself and create another script for B-roll. And so I put a lot of work into those things. So
and I think now, you're talking too, you're in a professional scenario where this is actually now a livelihood.
Yes.
Where for most of, I think the media folks out there, they might have some level of monetization with a Patreon or whatever, but generally speaking, most of us are doing this for the love of the hobby, if you will, or starting out and want to try it. I think you see a ton of people going, okay, this would be fun to have a podcast, or this would be fun to have a YouTube channel. Like Barry and we just started chatting together offline about board games. We thought, well, maybe we could do something, have some fun. And before you know it, it evolved into the Berkey and Badger show.
Right.
And with my life, with Game Toppers being so busy and taking so much demand on me, we don't have the time that we used to have to just sit and chat, every week about board games or go on Board Game Arena. But because, we have some sponsors and all of a sudden the reality of the industry, the cult of the new games, I think, I don't feel this personally, but I wonder how many of the new media people feel this pressure to produce. You got to get the newest game. You got to get the latest hit. You gotta keep up with the Joneses. Your set has to be that much better. You have to.
I definitely feel that. I mean, even though it's my job now, I still have to say it doesn't feel like work. I mean, obviously there are down days, but in general, I'm just having a ton of fun. But there is a ton of pressure because even now, since my focus is all Kickstarter, the games I'm looking at now are going to be games people are talking about in a year, as reviews and things. I'll be like, oh yeah, I already did that, Yeah. So, but I do feel that pressure that maybe I'm falling away because I am just doing Kickstarter stuff now, not as much reviews. So I'm going to try to do more periodic reviews, but I definitely feel that pressure, because I don't want. I love doing this so much, and I would be really bummed if it went away, right? I mean, I just love it.
Easy to drown in the sea of games and content which is being produced because people are knocking out videos about anything and everything to do with board games, which is nice. You get to see how to paint a mini, or you get to see how to take clean film off a box and punch out tokens. Those really important lessons in life.
And to throw them in a cereal bowl. Don't forget that. So, Barry, just to follow up then on that question, what Mark just said, how do you feel? Do you feel there are too many media creators?
I am the nasty person here, so I'm going to say yes. There are too many media creators producing mediocre to nothing box openings, in particular videos, which serve no purpose. They're one-shot wonders. It's like, okay, someone's got the brand new game, that they're the first person to open it. You get to see it before everyone else. 2 million hits. Second person that does that, 1 million hit. Third person does that, 500 hits. And then nobody watches the video. And it's like, that's not really content. I mean, if, I don't have any disagreement if a publisher that produced the game did a box opening video, that is, that's justifiable. This is our baby. This is George. Say hello, George. Say hello. I will stroke him and love him and call him George. There are too many, and I've disappeared off the radar. People don't know who I am anymore. But I'm still going, and there are other reviewers like myself who do a very good job of reviewing games, which is so under the radar because there's someone else just chucking stuff out willy-nilly because they're trying to keep up with the demand, which is not possible.
I think there's kind of a question associated really closely to it, and a wide variety of disagreement on this topic. But are there too many games?
Oh my gosh!
Because we've did a series called that was called Gamer Glut. Mm-hmm. There's just so many games. How do you weed through the noise anymore? Right. And for my life, I used to consume a fair amount of board game media. Mm-hmm. When I was out working and doing things that I was doing stonemasonry, so I had a lot of times with my headphones and I was listening to a lot of podcasts. Yeah. For me, the most cathartic thing I can do is mow my lawn. I love it. I get on my tractor for 3 hours and grab a cigar, and I'm listening to a podcast. I'm happy. I mean,
That's awesome.
I love it when the plan comes together.
But I don't have that luxury right now for time.
Yeah.
And then with so many people, there's wonderful people out there that I know I probably don't know who they are. I mean, there's so much, and how do you weed through the noise?
Yeah, I don't listen.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that so that's a bigger topic too. Is there too many games? Because what we're seeing now is the fact that there's amazing games that come out, but they'll probably only ever get one print run because there's the next game they're making, and they may never go back to it unless there's some crazy popularity thing that happens with it. And I find that really sad, and that's definitely a product of too many games. You know, but that also means with the vast number of media people, even from the guy who's starting out for the first time, there's a good chance you could cover stuff nobody else is covering because the more obscure games maybe that aren't getting.
But there again, you got the pressure of everybody needing to have the hot title.
Yes,
so everybody's trying to get the latest scoop in a sense.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't feel that pressure personally, but I don't know if you feel that pressure, Barry, to get the latest scoop for the cult of the new game, or.
No, that died a long time ago. That died when I dropped off of the Dice Tower. I couldn't keep up the pressure of pumping out videos. It was just a case of, it's a brand new game. If I do this video now, I can get it posted before Tom gets his posted.
Right.
Otherwise, Tom would post his video, and then you'd have to wait 3 weeks to have yours posted, and then your opinion doesn't count, so to speak. So yeah, it's a kind of a competition. It's kind of a race, but it's not worth it. You're just best off doing the best that you can, concentrating, making your own niche, making your own stand on a game that you like or you don't like, and why.
Right.
And present it in a way which is interesting, present it in a way which doesn't send people to sleep, present it in a way that, is your own unique style. And you enjoy after your 15th take.
And that's key, actually, that you don't put somebody to sleep, right? Because you need to be energetic, you need to be up, right? I would prefer to see somebody with personality over somebody that has amazing quality. That's just kind of dry, if they're enthusiastic, and there's a whole slew of people out there that do beautiful videos, but there's zero enthusiasm. So it's hard to get through some of those, right? And vice versa. Yeah. So
yeah, it's a some people, our goofy humor and us screwing around and going off topic and throwing voices in, that just grates on some people's nerves. Yeah. They just don't get that and don't care about that. Right. And so I respect that. That's their personality. That's their temperance.
Right.
So there's those that need that. Just they want the point by point, rules mastering type of presentation. I'm here for information, and I don't care about all the superficial,
all the other stuff. Yeah.
But for me, I'm going to listen to that. I listen to the Brothers Murph. I mean, those guys crack me up.
They're awesome.
I just can't. Chaz Marler. I just love listening to Chaz. He just cracks me up.
Yep. I definitely prefer on the side of enthusiasm, So
yeah, I think one of the things we can talk about here on a couple positive notes with relation to helping people who feel that they want to start into this thing. But I think one of the things, before we just delve into that, some suggestions and things you might be able to offer. When we started, we thought, this will be fun. And some point of where the line came, I think we started, all of us had communicated a little bit that there was a pressure. And I see a lot of turnover with a lot of people where they start something and maybe they're a Dice Tower contributor or they're this or they're that. And then all of a sudden they're off the radar and nobody sees them again. And what I would encourage is, if your motive is to try to be somebody first, versus rather than I am somebody and I think I have something to offer and I want to do this for fun,
right?
To keep that mentality, because more than likely, unless you're somebody special, more than likely you're going to fall in with all the rest of people, you're not going to get much love at first. You're not going to get a lot of adulation.
Right.
It might not be as rewarding as you hoped. People can troll. People can. I mean, the internet's a crazy place sometimes.
It is. And the thing about that too is that starting out, or if you've been doing it for a while, it doesn't matter. You could have 1,000 positive comments, but one negative is louder than the 1,000 that were positive. And so, especially as a new person, that's it's really hard unless you're super thick-skinned about it.
Yeah.
But you're not used to that kind of world. It's going to be rough. So you have to be prepared for that. It's one of the biggest things.
Well, I think you're right, because you can take some of the negative things. Most of our hobby, I think, is really great. I mean, we can talk about negative stuff, but overall, we are great people in the hobby. Yeah. And if we could hear the positive better,
yes,
more long lasting, I think we'd be more fueled and more energized than allowing the negativity things to defuel us. You know what I mean? But you have to be aware of that. That if you're in it for the right reasons, I think
will help a lot.
If you're a professional studio and you have the resources and the celebrity and the credibility and different things of that nature, it might be different.
Degree in journalism and could be more objective than subjective, or subjective than objective. Yeah. Can't remember which one's the one I like. Objectivity.
Yeah, you're objective. Yeah.
And I like this in chat. We have Baz is that more gameplay videos where you can play along would be good. So one of the things I do on caffeine.tv is I either find a good solo game or a good cooperative game that I can play and have chat play with me and help make the decision. So like a great one is the Choose Your Adventure game that was based on the books. And that was a great one because everyone in chat, everybody could just grab a 6-sided dice. That's pretty easy to find. And okay, such and such, roll dice. Tell me what the result is. Okay, that's what happens. And so everybody is involved in playing in a live broadcast like that, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a Facebook post from Daniel Zayas actually in the Board Game Media thing. And he made a comment about if I was just starting to do a board game, the first marketing that he would do is just a playthrough video and just start getting out there. And it's kind of interesting. People like watching people play board games.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've discovered that on Caffeine. I was very surprised by that. Because there's so many people it's all about video games, right? And the other thing that's neat is that I've gotten a lot of the video game folks to come over by playing digital board games with me, like Mysterium. And they're like, this is amazing. I said, yeah, the board game is just like it. They're like, what? There's a board game? No, yes, there's a board game, So it's amazing. And we did like Colt Express. Okay. And, and you have that card play that going on. And they're like, this is amazing. And they have never played anything like that. And they're like diehard video gamers. So it's pretty interesting to see that from those folks.
Yeah.
And now there's like a bunch of people, hey, I'd love to play sometime too, so, and we can only do so many on a broadcast, but I love that I can suck people in, like that too. So,
yeah, that's awesome. So
yeah,
go ahead.
Get a good team together and do playthrough videos. A good comedic team, because I used to watch the Dungeons and Dragons with Will Wheaton and 3 other comedians, and they were hilarious. You weren't really involved in the story. It was just you were there for the laughs, and you passed 2-3 hours having a good old giggle with them.
That was a great series.
Yeah,
it was a really good series.
Unfortunately, it didn't traverse very well with tabletop. There were some hit and miss episodes.
Right.
As I said, if you have the same good team, and then you're doing all the same kind of like jokes, the tie-in jokes, and people can learn the game at the same time. It's a great way to do it. It's an easy way to do it as well, because you do just switch the camera on and play a game instead of.
Well, you're seeing a lot more technology now.
Yes.
With Twitch and Caffeine and Google Hangouts,
all that stuff. And when we do that stuff, that's like even though it's not a video thing to edit, right? It's still like a process because I have 3 cameras and I have to coordinate all those in a layout. and then potentially have a transition between maybe a bigger camera view and just periodically do that stuff while you're playing the game and while you're chatting with folks. So, which makes it really hard if you're like, oh, wait, what was that rule? Or I got to dig in. I don't remember how to do this. Or if I'm building Legos, I mess up because I'm chatting with folks more than and so there's your attention gets super divided, and you may have missed a card or you played a card out of order because you're chatting with someone. Oh yeah, did I play it? Yeah. You know, so that happens.
That happened to us in board game theater all the time because we'd go off the rails with something that struck our funny bone, and you know, and did we make that shot? Did we actually play it right? You know, or whatever happened. And there was a couple episodes where we had to go in and actually watch it all backwards and make sure. And then if there was a clarification that had to throw in there or whatever.
Yeah, you know? That's awesome.
Now, you guys don't know much about Trick Tack TV because it's a French board game. It's the French Dice Tower version over here.
Oh, okay.
They do a very professional thing, which I really admire. They have their studio. They always have the publisher, designer, and everything come into the studio. They do an interview with them. Then afterwards, they do an explanation of the game with them. And then after, they do a third video, which is a playthrough video with them, which I always find really, really great fun. And also, they always stream it on YouTube, Facebook. That seems to go down really well.
And Facebook is definitely gaining ground for that streaming thing. And which is interesting to me because it's one of the lowest quality streams. You know, I'm always surprised by that. But
that's why
people seem to people seem to love it. Yeah, people love it.
It's easy. It's on your phone. You just scroll through and there's a video. Oh, let's watch that.
Yep.
Whereas YouTube is a bit more.
It's more involved. And same with Twitch and caffeine and all that.
Yeah. Got to know what you're looking for.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, tell us something. Say we have a person that wants to get into media creation, whether it's podcasting, YouTube videos, you know, live streaming. What would you recommend? What some things could you help them?
The two biggest things: don't get hung up on high-end equipment. Just grab even your basic mic, and then secondly, consistency. If you're doing a podcast. Oh, we haven't done one for 2 months now. You know, commit. If it's only monthly, that's fine. But commit to doing it monthly, right? I mean, and get people. And get people used to you being there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Back in jail.
You did not put me. Where's that belt sander?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really true, though. You know, you have to have a level of consistency. And, you know, we've been doing this 4 years, and we always try to do every 2 weeks, but both of our schedules with both of our lives have not always allowed that. But we've basically been out there, you know, every couple 2 to 3 weeks. And I think that's really important. So people, this is something that was interesting for me is, when you listen to a lot of podcasts, I remember when I first started listening to Blue Peg, Pink Peg, I was doing this big stone masonry job and I was looking for some stuff to listen to. And I just really enjoyed them. And so I went back to the beginning and started listening to all of these podcasts that they did. Well, by the time I was done with that job, I was like, I know these people. I relate to these people. I start to understand some of at least their projected personalities. But I felt they were sincere. And I ended up getting to meet Rob and Patrick and Christina and Jeremy. And Jeremy is the one who wrote the case of the missing models, for instance. It's awesome. He's a professional author and he's amazing. Well,
awesome.
All of that started from getting to know them. And my point is, people, when they interact with us in a media sense, they do have a sense of relationship. Even though there might not be a lot of interaction, they still feel so. Like when people come up to me at the booth, for instance, whether it's from a Game Topper thing or if it's from Board Game Theater or Berkey and Badger, I am so thrilled to meet with those people. I'm so thrilled to be able to because I'm nobody. I don't think of myself that way at all. Same. But to be able to have someone that says, hey, I really enjoy. I remember Ben Stillers. You remember Ben at Gen Con?
Ben Steelers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he comes up to us. He was just like, I'm so glad you guys are so awesome. I can't believe. I'm like, who are you talking to? Is Rodney around there? Is Rodney around there? But in his world, it made a difference. It was helpful. He enjoyed our witty repartee.
Yes.
Our verbal face slapping.
So that's interesting. For me, I spent years working for Fan Clubs Inc. and I was the guy behind the camera. I was their photographer, and we did stuff for Star Trek and Star Wars and Back to the Future. And I got to be on set for a lot of different things. I got to meet actors. I got to be at conventions. And I always said, man, because some of them are not great to fans. And I'm like, if I was ever in that position, I would stop. I would take time. And now I find myself in the position sometimes, and I'm like running through the hall to go to a meeting, and someone will, hey, I always stop. I don't care if I'm late, because for them, that's an important moment. And if whatever it is, I'll hang out and talk for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
Mark Stread.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's so cool. And I feel so honored that they even care enough to say something, right?
Yeah.
So
you get that while running across the wall. I get that every time we go for a pee. Hey, you there, shake my hand. Oh,
yeah. That's funny.
Well, so what kind of things would is there anything from a presentation to let people know what they're doing, some ways that you would encourage them to get their program, their audience, if you will?
Oh, to get their audience. Social media is number one key. If you're not actively making content at the moment, be very social about it. That it's coming, or did you see the last one, or something around those lines, right?
Here's a picture of my big toe.
Yeah, right. And just showing, I'm playing that this week. I'm playing this week, or whatever it is. I know our podcast is delayed, but I'm still playing stuff this week. Stay upfront in some way if you want to be that type of media person. And then I still feel that you have to have a personality on camera. You can't be a dry. You've got to have some enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Especially now with so many people. If you don't have something, if you're just dry, you're not going to grab. I don't feel like you're going to grab people. Like, look at Chaz and, how much enthusiasm he has for everything he does.
I really think too, it's important to stand out at some level. I feel like you need to be inspired from within first off, and be true to yourself, not try to be somebody else.
Oh, correct.
Because these people that are trying to copy or be somebody else, it just isn't real. And people pick up on whether it's real or not. People know I'm silly. This all comes right. What you see is what you get type of thing.
Yep.
But like with Board Game Theater, we felt like, okay, we can be ourselves, but we could do something unique. Because I didn't see anybody else doing that.
Right. No.
And I wish we were talking about it the other day, because we had so much fun when we did the Royals episode. It's 3 30-minute episodes. I had 100 hours of post-production into that dumb thing.
Yeah.
But it was so fun. We laughed, and the things that came out of that. Yeah. We didn't have a full-blown script. It was all organic, and it just happened. And
that's awesome.
And so it was real for us. And I wish so much that I had the time to do that, because you don't get paid to do that.
Right, you don't. Yeah.
But it was wonderful for us. And whether it had big notoriety or not wasn't the issue.
Wasn't the issue. And it's interesting too. You said be yourself. And when I started, I was so incredibly nervous all the time. And it took a little while for me to kind of get into the groove of it. So that can happen.
Yeah.
And if you told me 6 years ago, I would be up in front of, I'd have videos where 10,000 people watch.
Right.
I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. Right. But now I love it. And it definitely is an evolution that happens as you go into this process. And almost like that on-camera person for me has turned into me, or it has allowed me to kind of come out finally, so to
Yeah,
say.
that's great.
You know, because I'd be like, no, I'll just be back here.
I'll hide behind Randy. Go on, Randy.
Yeah, right.
Well, and I think there's something to say that to have a little bit of a persevering spirit. Too.
Yes, absolutely.
To persevere, to just keep trugging along, you will get better. The first one, you're going to look back at your first stuff and you're going to go, oh, that sucks.
Go look at my first video.
I'm embarrassed, bro.
My first video is pretty good, so I'm happy.
See, because you're awesome.
You know, I had this. I paint wildlife, and my first painting that I brought out of high school, my mother loved this painting. Okay. So everywhere she'd bring people over to that painting, and I'm like, oh God, don't show them that painting. That's the worst thing in the world. And because my painting got a lot better than that, and yet to her mind it was wonderful, as a mother would say. You know, you got to love the ugly ducklings. So, that's right. That's a face only a mother can love.
Fucking the feathers out your back.
Exactly. But you know, when afterwards there's a little bit of nostalgia that goes there too, because you can see, okay, this is where we started. We're improving. And to me, I always strive for excellence in everything that I do in life.
Absolutely.
I don't like to halfway do things. And
but with me.
Well, but seriously, the excellence thing is not about being perfect.
Right.
Excellence is about doing the very best you know how to do. Do what you can, and gradually you'll step by step you'll improve. You'll be able to add equipment. You'll be able to add technique. You'll be able to add experience. All of those things, you know. But you have to persevere. You can't easily quit. And I think a lot of people, after they find out this isn't what they thought it was going to be, it's like, okay, I'm out of here.
Where's my free games?
Where's my free games?
And all of a sudden, those free games are an awful lot of work. That they are not free.
They are not free.
Well, that's my 2 cents on that. Barry, do you have any closing thoughts on that?
I did have 2 cents somewhere. I must have put it down. No. Just if you're gonna do it, do it. Do it with love, and do it, as they say, best of your ability, and be different. Be different.
Well, I'm sure happy that Mark has been to my home here to help us. It's been great.
Awesome.
He just brings a lot of energy to what we're doing, and I'm super excited about that. Thank you also for sharing your experience, your wisdom with what you're doing in the hobby and being on the show. It's much appreciated.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is awesome. I love being here. So.
It's been a pleasure.
And where can we find you, Mark?
Yes, so on Twitter, Board Game Corner, you can find me mostly on the Dice Tower Network. That's my primary spot at the moment. Love doing that stuff for them. And then you can find me on caffeine.tv and on Instagram. But on Instagram, it's BG Corner because someone stole my name but is not using it.
Oh, wow.
So there, and we're on Facebook too. So all this normal channels, so to say.
One thing about Mark too, I see that he's really responsive and very interactive. You know, you have 8,000 followers on Twitter and whatnot, and you respond to tweets all the time with people. So that's very commendable and easy to get a hold of.
I actually love that interaction so much. So it's a great, like if I'm in the middle of shooting something and I'm a little frustrated because I can't quite say it right, you know, I'll stop for a minute and just kind of check social media, and it's great when folks are on there and I'm like, so it's a nice distraction. And
fuel you up a little bit and then go back at it.
And it's amazing how that, or like a convention or something, can really just fuel you up to be like, wow, because for so long you're working every day and I'm just with a single camera in my basement, you know, so you feel out of touch. And that's another reason the social media is nice.
Definitely. I'd agree.
Well, that's the wonderful stuff about this hobby, and I think that's why we do. I know Barry and I talked about that at length on the last show, but even today, you know, I've had a difficult week, and I've been just tired, and before the show, just tired, and just getting on the show and being able to talk about what we love to do and why we're, you know, all of a sudden I'm fueled up again. You know? So that's the great stuff about being in the hobby.
Yep, it is absolutely.
Well, Barry, where can the people find Berkey and Badger?
There and here. We are on the Board Game Geek Guild 2248. We are also at boardgametheatre.com, as well as on boardgameseverybodyshould.com.
Boom.
Boom. Is that everywhere?
Yeah, there's Instagram. We got Facebook.
Oh yeah, we got Facebook. Yeah, we got Facebook.
Yeah, Berkey and Badger. You type in Berkey and Badger Board Game Babble, but what we found where we get interaction the most is actually with our downloads, with our iTunes show, and Barry takes this information that we have live, condenses it into a really nice edited version that has all the professional drops, and Barry does a great job with our audio podcast.
No yawning from Berkey, and
he takes all the nincompoop out of. He just takes the poop out of nincompoop. Yeah, that's what he does.
Okay.
That's awesome. And another quick thing, if I might plug, I'm working on a new show, potential podcast with her woman. Her name is Bonnie Burton. She writes for CNET, and she's an author. She's written many books. She was on the Guild with Felicia Day. She does a lot of. She just does a lot of different things. Okay, so I met her because of Ashley Eckstein, and who is Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. That's how I first met Bonnie. So I had Bonnie on my show for Caffeine.tv, and we had so much fun that we're like, hey, maybe we should just do this more often. So we're gonna be we're gonna be talking board games because she likes board games, but it's gonna be beyond. It's gonna be
geek
like
culture stuff,
like geek culture stuff. It's gonna be beyond the corner or something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I like that.
So I think it'll just be something new and fresh to do. It's not just solely board games, which I mean, I'm all about board games, but I just like the idea of her because it's a whole different perspective, and we discovered that we're both all about tangents. So we might even call it that because we'll get off somewhere completely different than we'd planned, and it's just so much fun. So
yeah, that's why we have a script.
That we rarely follow.
Yes.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. Barry, as always, my friend, thank you so much, and can't wait to see you at the UK Games Expo. We are going to have a blast.
Oh yes, we are, and hopefully Paul's house will still be standing by the time we.
Yeah, we're going to Sir Paul Grogan's house.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to ransack that place.
That's awesome. Man, it's not this year, but maybe next year. I'd love to go to UK Expo. I really want to do that show sometime.
Yeah, I hear great things.
Yep.
Okay.
Send us out, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for watching. See you later. Yep. Kabuki, Baz, and
thank
Scott,
you guys for everybody joining.
And David, and kisses to you all. And all those smiley faces you leave behind.
Thanks, guys.
We're so glad we had this time together. And now it's time to go. It won't be long until we have another show. So keep us in mind, get online. Berkey and Badger will be back
in no time.
There it is. Forever.
Boom.
Boom.
Mike.